My name is Ray Fierstein. I live in upstate New York, and I died twice in my life. Turned 70 the other day, so 65 years ago. It's as clear as it was then. Yeah, I was 17 years old and had stomach ache for a couple of days. I was getting ready to go to prom, and my father, I was in bed. I had 102 temp, and it was fluctuating. So he gave me Pepto-Bismol to help my stomach ache. And it got to the second or third day, and it was very severe. My fever kept going up. So he made an appointment. I went to my doctor, and he never even got me in the office. He said that I had appendicitis, and they go right to the hospital. So that's what they did. They brought me to the hospital, and I guess while I was in there, is this what I've been told? Because I don't remember a lot of what happened, physically, but they were telling me this that they had like a waiting area outside the operating room, kind of a prep area, and I was in there, and my father was with me, and I said, "Geez, Dad, I feel really good now." And he goes, "What?" I said, "Yeah, the pain and everything's gone." So he goes, "Really?" And so he went out and got the nurse. They came in, and my appendix had burst inside, and they said, "You're going in right away." So they wheeled me in, but I had passed away on the table going in. This time, a few more years of my life, but I still didn't see my life as it was passed before me. I've never really seen that. What I did see, uh, it was like it was white, very, very bright white, and faded into uh, like a garden with some buildings, fragments of buildings, but there's a lot of people in there and they're talking. And there's somebody that was escorting me and was just talking to me again. It was a male and a female voice, but I never saw them. I could feel them touching my arm, but I couldn't see them. I didn't even look at them. I didn't try to, look around at them. But there was people all milling around. It was kind of like in a soft pastel colors. And they were chatting and they looked at me, smiled, and it was really weird. Then this one woman approached me in this like white gown. It was kind of frilly and nothing special. It was just a gown with, she had a blue stone pendant on her chest, right about where her neck is. Hanging down. And I would say, if I was to estimate her name, probably her age was probably about, yeah, she was in her early 50s, say. Um, and she says, "Hi, Ray, it's nice to meet you. My name is Rose. I'm your grandmother." And I went, "Oh, cool." And yeah, I mean, honestly, there was just no realization of death at all. It was such a smooth transition from dying in both times into the other side. There was nothing except just you're there. That's it. Like somebody turned a switch on and you moved. And she says, you can stay here. You're going to go back, but please tell your mother that Tommy's okay." I went, "Oh, okay. I can do that." And with that, I was told, spoken to, I guess spoken to, that, you have to go back. And they escorted me back again. And I woke up in the emergency room, in the recovery room. And, it, I recovered, was there like a couple of weeks and went home. And while I was home, I went and I talked to my mother, and I said, she says, how do you feel? What was that experience? And I go, "Well, I got to tell you something. There was a woman that met me, and her name was Rose, and she got her mouth fell open. She was what?" And I said, "A woman met me and said her name was Rose, and she was probably about in her early 50s." And then, see, she never talked about her parents much. And she went and got this Bible that has all the births and deaths in it. It's old, German. And she says, Rose is my mother. He goes, I said, I gathered that. She goes, she had a message for you. My mother says, what was that? She said, tell your mother that Tommy is fine. And she almost fainted. Um, Back in the old times, there was a lot of stillbirths, a lot of deaths of babies right after being born because some of the chemicals and medicines they use caused a lot of trouble back in the 40s and 50s. All right. And it was interesting. She says, well, and I said, oh yeah, by the way, she had a blue stone pendant around her neck. And of course, she went in her drawer, and there it was. And I mean, she turned white. She goes, I go, who's Tommy? Well, I did know from my mother and father talking. I'm the youngest of the family. I had an older sister and two older brothers, and there was another baby, and the baby died at birth, and that was the baby. That was Tommy, my brother, and she told me the whole story about it. It was I was kind of blown away that that would happen. She was even more so. She had to sit down a couple of times, hang on to the chair, But yeah, I mean, that stays with you forever. It's nothing that you just say, oh well, but it just doesn't. It does make a change in you. As much as I see, I was raised Roman Catholic. I was an altar boy from for 8, 9 years. I went to seminary, in fact, for 2 years. So I was going to be a priest, but that didn't work out. And so I was pretty steeped in spiritualism and religion and things like that. And um, I'm not. I'm more spiritual than I am religious, and it always is on your mind. And quite honestly, it actually has inspired me to do a few things um, that I don't know that I probably would have done if I hadn't had that experience. And it guided me. When you get touched by whoever that is there with you, they're always there. You always know they're there with you. You know what I'm saying? It, to put a word, is it an angel? Is it a guardian spirit? I have no. It doesn't matter. I don't care. But I feel very comfortable knowing that they're there, that they've been with me my whole life, um, as a muse, in effect, for a lot of different things that I do. And I do give them credit for much of inspiration for things that I am able to do. Taking something away, I would tell anybody, don't be afraid. It's nothing to be afraid about death. Death is a word that humans gave to a condition that happens to this body, but it doesn't happen to the spirit, and there's nothing to fear over there. I think your biggest fear is your own conscience. One of the things that was inspired was, and bugged me for a long time until I actually did it, was to I'm an engineer. I'm an electrical and electronics engineer, been for about 30 years, but I've been in electronics forever. And something happened that pushed me to do this one thing. And it was back about 25 years ago. My wife and I, if we got sick, we would go downstairs and be sick on the couch so we didn't wake the other guy up because we both worked. And so she was very sick, she had a bad cold, and she went down and slept on the couch. And I woke up one Saturday morning, probably about 2 o'clock. It was 2 o'clock in the morning because I looked at the clock. Got up to see if she was okay to go downstairs, and I heard this woman singing, and it caught me by surprise. I was heading on the way downstairs, and she sang. It was like loud, but it was not didn't hurt. It was just loud, and it was the most beautiful, young, melancholy voice, hauntingly beautiful voice that I've ever heard in my life. And she sang 6 notes in triplets 3 times. I went down to the landing. She sang it again. Then I got into the living room, and she sang it again. And it was coming out of our dining room, which is right below our bedroom where I just came out of. I said to my wife, "Did you hear that?" And of course, she was half awake. She was, "Oh, yeah, somebody's singing." And I fell back to sleep. And so I waited until the morning and I asked her, she says, "Yeah, what was that?" I go, "I have no idea." But it was absolutely good. And I'm a musician also. So I was able to go to the piano and pick up the notes. And I've had them. It bugged and bugged and bugged me until I realized what I needed to do. And I built a device. I wanted to do scientific research, not the stuff you see on television. You know, people running around throwing their hands up in the air and screaming, or yelling and screaming at the spirits. Which these ghost hunters, I don't like ghost hunting because that you're hunting a being, and I don't think that's morally correct. Um, if you research, I wanted to research the reason why paranormal happens, reason why there are spirits out there, why they come here, and what the energy levels are, what they generate, how they it can influence our um, environment. And I built this lab, and I've learned so much through it just by them speaking to us. And we have conversations, believe it or not. I'm not listening. I don't get Elvis or any of those guys at all. Not like everybody else. It's their beings. There's some beings that stay and they talk to us. And I've been to different forts up in this area. I've been to different houses, different venues that are typically haunted, and we've gotten an incredible amount of information from these beings, these entities, the spirits, and they're more than willing to talk. And what I understand from them and what I found from them, you retain. People say you can't take it with you. The riches of this life you can't take with you, of course, but to me, the riches of the life is actually you, your person, your personality, your sense of humor, your intellect, your curiosity, and your wisdom. That's all gets very valuable. And they talk to us, and they have a sense of humor. They they reason things out. They remember you. They remember us. Call us by name. And I know a lot of people think, "Oh, that's demons." It's not. It's not. I have enough people around me that are very sensitive, mainly some very prominent psychics that are friends of mine that have been there. And they identify that it's not evil. It's not negative. You've been around, these types of people. They're great. I love them, and I've known them forever. And they mentor, and they also come with us on these adventures and these sessions that we do. Um, because I was so involved with electronics and music, vibrations, energies, working, this was a natural course to take, and it's stunned us every time we turn it on. Absolutely stunned us with what comes through. I just did a session last night with a friend at their house, and um, people that have us over get closure with some of the people that have passed in their life. And that's why I built it. I built it so it would help people have that closure, understand where they are, and be able to say goodbye in a proper way. You know what I mean? From what I've read and seen and talked to other people, it's very a near death experience. I call it a near life experience because I'm dead already, so I'm coming back the other way, you know. Again, don't be afraid of death. There's absolutely nothing to be afraid of. People that have died are there. I know that now a family will greet me, which is a great comfort to know that there's going to be a kind and a gentle hand to reach out. I did not see Jesus. I didn't see God. I don't know. I could have. You never know. I didn't know who those people were. They never introduced me. So I was there long enough, actually. Um, I would just say to anybody, with anyone that has lost anyone, uh, don't feel sorry for. They're perfectly fine where they are. They're probably happy. They're not sick anymore if they went when they were sick, or they're not in trauma, and they're just there. They'll be there for you when you go. Don't rush it, but uh, that's about the best I can say. Just don't fear it. I wouldn't fear it.